So today I'm going to run through the 2016 Lunar Delta TI. On the near side we've got a little locker here. Now this is a wet locker, so there's an external 230 volt socket, so that'll give you power out into the awning, and it's also just for muddy boots, etc. External barbecue point, so that'll come off of the gas bottles fitted. Set up for propane, so it's literally just on the hand wheel. You can do that by hand tight, you don't need a special spanner, and then just make sure it's turned on the actual gas bottle. 13 pin electrics, and we've got the ATC at the front. We've got the Aldi central heating on this, so we've got the flue for our Aldi central heating there, and then our water in. So we plug our water pump in here, and then you can get little filters, so this will unscrew and swap the filter, and you can get a shower kit for these as well, so that would be on this side here. Leisure battery, so room for roughly 110 amp leisure battery, and then our mains 230 volt just plugs in the side. All of our wastewater outlet from our sinks and shower is going to come out here, and then we've got our cassette toilet at the rear. So the actual cassette is at the bottom, and there's a little drain off tube up the top here. Now this drain off tube is for our flush water, and this is where we're going to put the flush water, and we'd use pink chemical and just normal water. So just above the door when we come in, we've got our main panel to be able to put the 12 volt on and off, put our lights on, an awning light on and off. View our levels and toggle through, so we can sort of see all the different settings on here. We've then got our water pump on and off, and then our little back arrow will just literally set different timers and different units on there. Just underneath of this seat here, we've got our main panel with our 230 volt trip switches, our 12 volt switches or 12 volt fuses, our main on and off for our 12 volt power from the consumer unit through to our systems, and then we can put our charger unit on and off, put our water heater and space heater into the on position, and then just below here it tells us what all of our fuses and also what our trip switches are for. Now just underneath of this seat, before we try and get the water through the system, we need to make sure our drain off valve is in the correct position. So this is how we drain the water down, and then back flat is ready to use it. On the Lunar Delta you have got the option to use the onboard water tank. Now when you first come into the caravan and we put everything on, once we've made sure all of the taps are in the closed position, we can literally just put our water pump on, and that will then put the water straight from the aquaroll straight through to our taps, without using our onboard tank. We will get this water level low system error coming up, and that's basically because if we haven't got the water in our onboard tank, it's just telling us that we've not got the water in. So to turn that one off, it's our middle button there, and that will then just turn that off, just to say that we know basically, yeah, we've not got any water in the onboard tank, but because we're using the external system, we don't actually need that. Now if I turn the pump off a second, we have got the option by toggling through on here to actually put our onboard tank on. So we've got a tank fill, we can then turn that into the on position, and that will then fill our onboard water tank up for us. Turning it off again, that will turn the pump back off. So if we want to use that onboard tank, we have to go in and turn that tank fill into the on position. To enable our onboard water tank, we need to come along to our Sargent EC37 with our middle section there. We can then hold our arrow button, and that will then allow us to put the water tank either into the on or the off position. So this will allow us then to be able to use the onboard water tank. We can then put our water pump on, and that will swap over then once that tank has got enough water in, and we'll get little lines come up on the side here to actually use the onboard water tank as the same as the outside system. To turn the onboard water tank back off again, it is literally then just with our little arrow into the off position, and then as we toggle through, we can then exit settings, and that will take us then back to our original settings. So it is, I suppose, if you're using it through the winter and the external acroll is going to freeze up, it's worth going through the settings. We have also just printed off the little control panel information sheet, so this will just make life a little bit easier of how to get those advanced options and how to select those, and then when to get into there. So we'll leave that in the front locker box just to make life a bit easier if you're not going to use that often, and then the information's just there and a little bit easier. 99% of the time it is just going to literally be then we'll get the little tank low, clear that off, and then we can just use the system as normal, and that's just the same as any other caravan then. It is just a little bit of a long-winded process to go through for enabling that onboard water tank, but that is how you do it. We'll now get the gas through the system, and then we can start using all of the other items that we've got on here. So easiest way to get our gas through is on our hob, and again we can visibly see when we've got the gas coming through, and we can actually hear it as well. So it lets us just hear and see that we've actually got the gas coming through the system. By getting the gas through this way, when we come to light up our fridge and our heating system, it's all just going to light up a little bit easier if we're going to use the gas. On our fridge we've got the main on and off button. It will then go on to the gas. We can let that just go through its system then and just light that up. And then if we wanted to use the electric, we'd literally just press on our electric, or if we were towing and we wanted to use the vehicle battery for towing, we can then press the leisure battery symbol there. It will only work when the car is connected, and same as on the gas or the electric, if we get an issue we'll get our little fault light flashing up with that beeping that we had then, just to let us know that we've got an issue there and we need to have a look at something. We can adjust the temperature of how cold the fridge is going to get with this one here, and then if we found that we're freezing up within the compartments, we can put a little heater on, and that will then just defrost if we're getting a build-up of frost on the sections. Again, just press it and that will then turn that back off again. Once you're finished with the fridge, it's literally just hold the on and off button and that will close that back down again. We've got our microwave just above, which we have to press the eco button on this one to wake the microwave up, and then we can do a 30 seconds, a stop, and then we can set our different settings on there as well. We've got the Aldi central heating fitted in this one, so our main control panel is over by the door. Now again, we do need to make sure that we've got the power onto this, so we get the little plug symbol, and that was underneath of our seat where we've got heating and hot water. On this screen then, it tells us what the temperature inside the caravan is, and also the circular one here is just saying that our heating is actually on and operational. If we press our menu, we can then go in and we can change what temperature that we want the caravan to get up to. We can put our hot water on or off, so at the moment it's off. If we put it onto the first setting there, that will put our hot water on, and that will work with our heating and hot water. If we go onto the full setting, that will allow us to use the heating, that will allow us to boost the hot water, but in doing so it will actually turn our heating off. So you'll notice now that our little symbol at the corner has now gone off, because when we put that onto the second setting, it will put all the power through to our hot water and we won't be able to run our heating at the same time. So if you want heating and hot water, it's that first symbol there, and you'll notice then that we've got our little symbol to say that the heating is now working again. We can then put our power on, so we've got electric, so we can choose either 1 kilowatt, 2 kilowatts or 3 kilowatts depending on what power we want to use. If we wanted to use our gas, it's just our gas symbol there, and that will then run all of our heating and hot water on the gas. Once we've finished, again, we can just literally press on and off button, and that will shut the system back down again. Moving towards the back of the caravan, we've got our cassette toilet, which to flush the cassette toilet is our little blue button, and that will put our flush water through, and then the little grey handle, that will let everything through and into the actual cassette itself. Hopefully we've give you a quick start guide there of how to operate all the different systems and where everything is. If you do get stuck with anything, let us know. Thanks, I'm Mark at the Caravan Place.